I'm a 29-year-old woman from a middle-class family that doesn't do feelings. Not openly, not intentionally, not ever. If you grew up in my house, you learned early that birthdays were for people who needed attention, holidays were excuses to waste money, and personal gestures were a kind of weakness. The most emotion you'd get was a nod or an all right then. No hugs, no long talks, no we're proud of you. It wasn't cruel, just cold. I was the weird one. I liked making things. Tiny things, handwritten notes, pressed flower bookmarks, personalized cards, sketchbook gifts. I made a collage for my mom on her 50th birthday with all her childhood pictures I'd secretly gathered. She looked at it once, said, "You should have just gotten me a cake," and left it on the counter for days. That's when I learned to stop trying. At 22, I moved out, got a job in the city as a product designer, started a quiet life, nothing flashy, but mine. I built routines, made friends who actually liked celebrating things, and gave small gifts without expecting anything in return. Still, I never brought anything to family gatherings again. Not a card, not a dessert, nothing. They noticed at first, made comments like, "Where's your homemade thing this time?" But I just smiled and shrugged. Eventually, they stopped asking. Then came Avery's engagement dinner. Avery is my cousin. We were close when we were kids, mostly because she was one of the few people who didn't make fun of my craft projects. As we grew older, that closeness faded, but I still remembered how we used to make up songs in the backyard and build forts with old sheets. So when her engagement was announced, I thought maybe I'd try once more. Just one thing. Not a big gesture. Just something meaningful. I made her a memory journal. It took me weeks. I printed old photos, scanned in family recipes, added quotes from letters my grandparents had written each other during the war. I pressed forget-me-nots from my grandmother's garden between vellum pages. I included a fold-out page of our family tree, handwritten in ink. I even hand-bound the entire book with linen thread and wrapped it in brown craft paper tied with twine. There wasn't a single glittery sticker or overdone calligraphy title. It was quiet, simple, real. I brought it to the dinner. We were seated around this long table in my aunt and uncle's house, all mismatched chairs and plates from different sets. Avery was at the head, glowing in that way newly engaged people do. Everyone brought standard gifts, envelopes, wrapped kitchenware, a toaster. When it was my turn, I handed over the journal, smiling. She unwrapped it slowly. I watched her eyes move over the cover. She flipped a few pages. Then my aunt leaned in, glanced at it, and said, "That's a bit much, isn't it?" Micah, another cousin, snorted. "What is this? One of those Pinterest projects? Nobody actually keeps those." I laughed lightly, pretending I hadn't just felt something shift in my chest. Avery gave me a small thank you, but didn't look me in the eye. No one asked to see it. It sat on the table like a misplaced dish. During dinner, conversation flowed around me like I wasn't there. Someone brought up a new job, another mentioned a baby on the way. When I tried to join in, the topic shifted. After dessert, I helped stack plates in the kitchen. That's when I heard my uncle's voice low behind me. She always has to make it about herself. I left before anyone could offer leftovers. No one stopped me. No one said goodbye. I walked to my car, journal less, dignity folded into the corners of my jacket. That night, I didn't sob or scream. I just sat on my apartment floor, wondering why I thought it would be different. Wondering if I'd always be the person who cared too much in a family that felt nothing at all. Weeks passed. I didn't talk to anyone about that dinner. Not even my friends. I focused on work, filled extra time reorganizing my bookshelves, digitizing my old art files. I even considered deleting the backup I'd kept of Avery's journal on my computer, just to forget the whole thing ever happened. Then, 2 months later, everything changed. My phone rang.